Hello everyone and welcome back. We are back in this field. It is the next day. I don't know when the video will post, but it is the next day. And we're going to plant this in sweet corn. And what we're going to do is put it in 12-row blocks. You may or may not be able to see. I drove up the edge here marking out the spray road, the first spray road along the edge, harvest road. You see that pile of rocks down there. But then we'll plant 12 rows. Then we'll leave a road, another road out and plant 12 rows, so forth, so on. But the first thing we got to do is get our planter ready. And once again, I'm going to plant this around 27,000 seeds per acre. The biggest thing I look at in sweet corn is the spacing in the row from seed to seed. That's about 7.5 inches. That's about where I want it. So that's where we're going to go with that. So we've got our transmission fixed up. We got our little handy dandy seed chart right here, and that tells us what gear, and what all that does is this wheel, a little bit about how basics on how this corn planter works. This wheel turns this chain, which turns that set of gears, which chain comes up and turns this set of gears, which turns a chain that spins your seed meter faster or slower. In a nutshell, that's what it does. There's a little more to it than that, but that's what it does. So we've got that adjusted where we want it. We've got our seed in the we've got all our seed loaded up. Make sure that our meters are engaged right here. This is where you disengage them. So if you want to disengage them, you would pull that out, latch it, push it back in to engage it. So before we do anything to this planter, we want to, and I went over this before, I know, but what we want to do is make sure we have our planter centered and level from side to side, and we do that with our 3-point hitch. If you don't have on any piece of equipment, if you don't have your 3-point hitch, which this arm, that arm, and your top link, that makes you 3-point hitches. 3 points on your 3-point hitch. I'll get spit out in a minute. All right. If we don't have that right, we don't have that adjusted right, any adjustments we do back here are a waste of time. So I've got it centered. I've got these run pretty tight. I don't want it walking with me. So, and then left to right leveling, we use this turnbuckle to raise or lower this arm to get it level from left to right. So you can probably see it's level this way, and that's where we want it, and it's centered. Okay, so to level it this way in the working position, we'll use our top link adjustment. So what we'll do, we'll let it down, and it looks pretty good right there. We'll put a little more, and we may make a few tweaks as we go along. All right. So we got our planter hooked to our tractor, and we got it hooked to our tractor properly. Now, this is our drive wheel. No adjustments needed here. These are our depth wheels, okay? That allows how deep the seed goes. Right here's this adjustment, those adjustments. I cannot talk today for some reason, but that's the adjustment here. We've got them where we want them, and then here's our covering wheels, and they're spring loaded. So the farther back we pull, the more tension we put down on those, and I like to run them pretty tight. I'll eventually change them over to the spiked wheels. So how's all that work? Okay, Real basics, and there's a lot of people know a lot more about corn planters than I do. These discs right here open your furrow. Okay, they're together in the front, opened up in the back. That opens your furrow. These wheels allow how deep they go. Seed drops down out of that tube in there into that trench. These wheels come along, crush that trench and cover it up. These also firm up your seed bed like that. So that's how it works. But if we're trying to adjust our covering wheel pressure and we don't have our top link right, we'll just chase our tail. So usually the implement has minor adjustments, a lot of your major adjustments done on your 3-point. So anyhow, we'll get started. We'll put her down here and get to work. See if we can get some of this planted. Here we go. One thing I forgot to mention is I adjust the planter to where on my lift, I'm just basically letting it float, letting it ride. It's basically the lift control lever will be all the way down and the planter will just drive back there. And I do that by adjusting primarily the top link to get it where it'll ride like that. So I'm not holding up or nothing like that. It's let the implement down, let it ride, and let it hit the adjustments you make back there, plant the seed accordingly. All right, here we go. Okay, we've got this planted. You can see I leave a road out right here where you have to come into the field, and that's to access spraying and particularly harvest, so I don't have to haul all the way around. But about 2.5 acres, it's planted. The last footage you saw there, is one of the reasons I use a 2-row planter. These fields are uneven, and when you get in these little short areas, and like I said, you know, we're limited on ground, so we're trying to get as many seed in here as we can. That's still a pain even with a two row, and it's uneven, all that good jazz. But if you like what we're doing, you hit that subscribe button and follow along. We'll see you next time. Who knows what we'll be doing? We got to get I gotta get the pre-emergent herbicide down on this, and then I've got to get some ground ready for the next round of corn and the pumpkins. So we'll be working on that, and before long we have got to get in the hayfield. So we'll take you guys along and show you what we're doing. Till next time, everybody, take care of yourself. Bye.